Back, MTG Joe here, and we're going to be testing out a couple decks here. We're in Mythics. I've already qualified for next month's tournament from 2 months ago, so we get to just kind of test out some standard brews. So this was something someone had requested on YouTube and kind of a revisit to when Ikoria came out. It is Jeskai, Yadaro, mid-rangey control. So Yadaro, when you cycle it 4 times, you get to put it into play. So basically, it's a potentially 2-mana 8/8 from your library Trample Haster. And then the rest of the deck is kind of a mid-rangey control deck. We're using the adventure creatures in Brazen Borrower and Bonecrusher Giant, so a little higher on the creature density. We don't have Teferi 3 in here with the ban, so something to try out here. The main board, we have a couple Planeswalkers as well, Narsets, both Narsets, some Teferis in there. You also have Elspeth Conquers Death. You can dump like any of these effects and then reanimate it afterwards with Conquer's Death. Some Typhoons on the top end. And then we have removal in the form of Conquer's Death, Shatter, Clarion. Bonecrusher and Brazen Borrower also serve as removal and tempo. 1 Banishing Light. Now that it doesn't get bounced by Teferi, it's good. And then Frantic Inventory is our card draw, and Dovin Veto. Hey Meister, thanks for stopping by nonetheless. We got a castle in the mana base. Veto's good against like Nisa decks and just kind of catch-all removal, or catch-all non-creature counter. I'm trying to inventory over Omen of the Sea just because it gets better in the long game. Sideboard-wise, cages versus any like graveyard shenanigans. Aether Gust, there's a lot of green going around. Vetoes, Justice Strikes, like there's a lot of the flash decks, Teamer Flash, so having something like Veto's good. Uncounterable, some Disputes, then another Clarion, Justice Strikes for like the bigger decks, Stompy, hits Hydrokrasis, hits Uro, stuff like that. Another Typhoon for the matchups where we want to scale back and play more instant speed. And I don't know if we need 2 Heliod's interventions, but we'll try it out, see how it goes. What is really playing artifacts and enchantments? You know what, let's cut one of these. Probably go up an Aether Gust. Can see that being more useful. So let's try it out. I'm like 1300 and change, 1362. So we'll play a couple games, see how it goes. And then I also have Mistman's Dimir list. I saw it and I wanted to try it out. If you've caught the version, the mono blue devotion deck, that was pretty fun. We switched it to a Simic one. I was playing it a bit offline with I added a couple Uros and Hydrokrasis, but it was pretty sweet. All right, Meister, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. So right now, SCG, we have like a lot of the Teamer decks and Sultai being kind of the more popular decks. I like Jeskai. It's Jeskai and Esper are probably my 2 favorite control decks. I feel like Jeskai has better tools right now than Esper. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. I forgot there's a Trinome. One sec. I was wondering why my mana base seemed off when I was putting things together. So shave. I think I want one of each temple. Just gonna get rid of the Fabled Passage. Okay, let's try that again. I was just saying, like in my head, my thought process was Esper doesn't have a Trinome, which goes a long way for the mana base, and I completely forgot to put it in this deck, so thankfully we caught that before the game started. Trinomes are very good in the deck. Helps you fix all your colors, late game can be cycled. If you do have any cool decks as we wait for an opponent to be queued up, do let me know. Playing a couple user decks if we can. We've played one of the subs, Amerfin's, Grixis Draw 2. Played some decks from here and there. We played Dishonored on YouTube's Dimir deck before. The ladder's been really slow. Especially for standard. Like sometimes you get it with historic, but Ayatai, 426 on the ladder. Play first. Sounds fine. I'm literally just looking for lands here. We have removal. We got a good mix of threats. And the nice thing is, like, basically these three, if we need to, are just draw effects. Actually... Let's make them decide first what they want to do. It's probably Shark Typhoon. Looks like we're up against Sultai. This will be a good test here. If they've been the Frantic Inventory, I'm going to draw two. Okay, they get rid of Bonecrusher. Go Yadaro first. The sooner we can get this back into the deck, we could potentially redraw it like we did. Okay, now we want to hit a land, so we're going to do this main phase. Opponent knows what we're up to. We're running 26 lands. 25. Oh, I should probably go up to 26. Against Sultai, you don't really want to stumble. Like, we've got two Yadaro triggers, which is nice. If we hit a land, I might just go Bonecrusher Giant to start pressuring them. Is this how we're going to play Magic today? Hey Quantum, how's it going? We're playing no draw lands. We've drawn now 3 extra cards and kept a 2-lander. We're also off on Absorb, just drawing our basic mountain right now. Clarion's okay. Yeah, it's actually pretty silly sometimes. Okay, they got Teferi. Can draw Narset, that's good here. Holy shit. They missed a land drop. I think we just passed the turn here. Did they miss a line drop? Figure what I can do is if I... like a Frantic Inventory, depending what they play. I can also just Shark Typhoon for 1 here. Just start poking at Teferi. Can draw 2 off this. Because even if they drop Nisa, I can bounce the Nisa.
We will not fail.
So do this before they can respond. We're probably not going to take this game 1, just we missed lines for 2 turns. Which kind of hampered our ability to play the game. So this turn will probably be Absorb on Nisa if they drop it. It kind of fogs for the turn. As this gets closer, I can always bounce it, which is nice. They don't play anything. I can just Brazen Borrower in. Okay, they escape Uro. That's fine. I'm gonna bounce it. I'd rather keep the thing for this is worse for us right now. I have Clarions, I have Shatters, but I have a hard time dealing with Nisa. Doing this in case they put a blue source in. They might be playing like Mystical Dispute or Negate. They could bin the Uro again. Okay, they go Casualties. They have to discard here. Conquer's Death is pretty nice here. Oh, we're missing a white source though. They've been pretty aggressive binning lands. They've been like two at least. 3 now. So my plan is likely absorb their play. If they don't play. Hey main account, how's it going? So we're gonna take the 3 here. If they don't play anything, then I Shark Typhoon for 3. Okay. I'd rather they don't take anything here. They usually don't play Jace in the deck. They'll typically have like Ugin on their top, or Teferi. Yeah. So I just stomped it. Okay, so we do want this. So this lets me Conquer's Death the following turn, which is probably best. I don't think that's the worst. This can trade with a land if needed. They're probably inclined to try to alt Teferi. Looking for a Shatter potentially. Those first 3 turns when we just stumbled on land are probably going to be the reason we lose this first game.
Back's gonna hurt tomorrow.
So we probably trade if they attack. So realistically, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I already have my mana tied up for next turn. So let's just do this. So the question is, I can do that for Uro. Oh no. I think we do this on Uro and then bounce the Teferi. Oh, you know what? I messed that up. I had to bounce it before they activated it. I forgot they were at 10. So we're probably dead here. They get 2 turns now. I have to bounce the land. I'm dead anyways, because... Oh, they conceded? They had 2 turns. Oh, okay. Folks, we take these. Okay. I don't know if I want Cage or just like dedicated graveyard hate. So I think I like Yadara, like that. Conquer's Death has a place in the deck. Narset can come out. Clarion. I think we want a Clarion. Bonecrushers aren't good in this matchup. I think we just play 1 Cage. I do like having Shatter. Banishing Light seems suspect. Teferi's also not that good in this matchup. Then maybe 1 Yadaro down. Just run it like that. I don't know why the opponent conceded. They had 2 Teferi extra turns. And then they had Nisa in hand. They didn't have the tax from Conquer's Death. And they're 426, so they've made it pretty high in Mythic. The Bonecrusher is one of those ones where you kind of want it in matchups like the Pressure, but it's much better when you're playing against like creature-based decks that aren't Uro. Also, when you're playing against Control, Casualties of War seems like such a good card to bring in against us. I think we may want 3 3-mana Narsets. They're very good against Sultai. I think sideboard as well. I'm going to do a split. I'm going to do 1 Tormod's Crypt and 1 Grafdigger's Cage. You can also look at Containment Priest, but it gets worse from removal. Because we get caught up with our sweepers. Because against Sultai, bringing in 2 cages isn't just a deal breaker because they what am I gonna say? They just bring casualties of war. Because they're probably going to bring in Duress, Agonizing Remorse, some combination of that. They'll probably bring in some Disputes. What's this opponent doing? Ashiok's also not the best. It gets clipped by Mystical Dispute. Do they just disconnect? I think what we do is we cut the Veto main. We bring in a third Narset 3 into the main board, and then make that switch to the sideboard. And I think we're pretty good, happy on the 75. Okay. Opponent might have either disconnected or got caught up with real life. Yeah, but it's usually not that quick. Like, usually it'll it'll run the clock down. Because if they just dragged out and roped us. So let's make that quick change. I think that's where we want to be. So cut the Veto. If we're going to be running into Sultai, Narset's very good in that matchup. And then bringing, Crypt. I like Crypt better against Uro decks, and I like this better against Winota decks. Let's go again. I do like playing the Sultai decks with control, like Jeskai or Esper. They're generally pretty interesting because they have the bigger like payoff effects. Okay, keep this. I'm happy with Teferi being banned, even though I have them in foil and paper. I think Growth Spiral should have been gone. Cat Oven, it's fine. It invalidated a lot of early aggro and shut off like removal. So I'm overall happy with it. I kind of wanted them to get Uro out of the format, to be honest. Okay, so we're looking for a sweeper here. This is Winota. There's just so many green-based decks. The one deck I hate playing against is Teamer Adventures. I like playing like piles. Yeah. So this probably telegraphs that they have, what's it called? The flash, you get 2 tokens. Clarion's great. Alright, so the last game when we were complaining about our lands. So I'm kind of hoping for like a stomp effect. Oh yeah, Wilderness Wreck, yeah. Sorry. Completely glossed over that one. Wilderness Wreck needed to go away. I agree with you there. Okay, they just went dog, dog. See what we hit off Narset.
Meditate and prepare.
That feels bad. Yeah, I haven't played Pioneer since January? December or January. This might be Paw Blade. Okay, if this isn't Winota. Then we're happy. So that's really good, because now I get to counter. EKC Gaming, yeah, I do. We played it yesterday. Give me a sec, and I will Well, so I played Mono Blue Devotion yesterday with Thassa and Leyline of Anticipation with Nyx Lotus. And then I went a Simic Splash. So the YouTube video will be up tomorrow on the the Mono Blue version. But I've liked the Simic one a lot more. I want to play this out to block, so we'll see if they sack here. No problem. So if they sack, we lose it. So a chance we take. Maybe we should have just held it. Taken the extra point of damage. Hoping for Shatter here. Narset's good. At this point, I'm falling pretty far behind.
I know 88.
Yeah, I will probably do some aggro.
Put thoughtfulness before action.
What have I played? I have Sultai Dredge, which is kinda aggro-y. Like you're just playing creatures out of your graveyard, getting free stuff. I played Winota yesterday. I played Jeskai Winota. See what we get here first.
I have just the trick for this.
Yeah, that's up on YouTube if you want to catch it. That one went up 2 days ago. So this is good because I can tap the Serpent. I'm probably going to wait on humans until they print, what's it called? Collected Company. So I'm off on Thursday. I'm going to be streaming Amonkhet when it drops. So I'm trying to just do this to get this off so I can Shatter the Sky after. I'm probably dead here. Nice. Hopefully you get some good pulls. So I'm waiting for them to attack with this to see. They also just have this. So this looks like just... was the problem this game. And then them just drawing Double Savior. Exactly 5. Okay, so this matchup, Cage comes in, Justice strikes, another Typhoon. I don't think we want Aether Gust. Let's see what comes out. Conquer's Death feels pretty slow to me. I do like Absorb as just a way to catch. Can probably trim Narsets. Probably all the Narsets, to be honest. Arcane and Navaman, thanks for the follows. Appreciate the support. So depending what they play out, I'm probably just going to Frantic Inventory this turn. Nice. I think the card... I want the Cyclonic Rift for my deck. Because all I have left in paper, I have Maelstrom, Wander, EDH. That was the last EDH deck I have. And then, like, that's my tuned version. I'd say, like, my 75%. Then I have... what's it called? So spells and abilities. Cycling is an ability. So let's just scry here. I'm looking for a sweeper. The exploration's really nice as well. And then in paper I have in Pioneer. I have the Jeskai or 4-color Fires Super Friends for Pioneer. So the problem is if I wait a turn, yeah, 4-color Fires. We're gonna get a hit off this. See what they get. Lifelink, indestructible when it attacks. Just doing this. So I think we trade here. We're like overall pretty dead here though. Because I do this, Clarion doesn't work. Yeah. I guess no, because even Justice Strike doesn't work here.
If nothing else, I will protect the motives.
That's unfortunate. They brought in a good amount of disruption. So that's something we might want to consider. The Winota matchup. We don't really have a clean way of hitting Winota. So maybe we focus less on Cage. And then have Essence Capture. Or Essence Scatter. I don't think Vetoes would have done anything. They taxed us with those Tithe Takers. Those proved to be the issue. Yeah, sorry. Kept getting sorry. I have 4-color Jeskai Fire Super Friends. And then I have mono black Devotion with Grey Merchant. I haven't really touched them since January, so there's a bunch of new stuff. But let me go grab. I have some pretty cool cards in the Fires deck. closer to being... need blue. Okay, so this is likely some sort of sack deck. Really need some blue mana. Oh, these are kind of brews that I had myself. Oh, it's Winota. So I'm doing this just because I'm going to likely play this out. Gives me a blocker. Yeah, so like with the ban, I feel bad that I have these in foil. I got like my alt art. You're bad looking. I got like a bunch of alt arts in here.
I know when to concede.
Hey, we got it. I'm gonna hold back this turn. Yeah, I actually like sold a bunch of my collection when I was this was my favorite card. I got the SDC Dragon God. Bassary's Lieutenant probably throws it on top. Puts it on that. So they poke for 1. It's Yadaro first. Need to find a board wipe here.
Keep an open mind.
Got there. So, see how they attack here? I do get my Narset back, which is nice. So I have to decide between drawing a card or keeping the Bonecrusher. Sorry, keeping... I think we let Narset die. It's gonna die anyways, so might as well draw a card. This also lets us just poke in. Or actually we can't because this is Vigilance. They get a 2/2 after this. Okay, they go Jangantha to hand. Why did they get 2? Oh, because Lazatef Reaver also had it. So I think we... And these are knights. So it does trigger Winota. And of course they draw. Yeah, I could see that. Might have been wrong. They're gonna get... We're probably dead here anyways. Because they're hitting us for 4. Well, they whiffed. Judith's going to kill me with triggers, though. So even Shatter doesn't do it now. Not quite. Clarion strikes. Essence capture. Another Shark Typhoon. I think we trim a Yadaro. Trim that. Trim Narset. Run it like this. It's odd, because generally you'd think these Winota decks, you'd be okay. Adam the Gathering, thanks for the follow. Like, we have 5 sweepers. Maybe we want more sweepers, main. Like, drop the Brazen Borrower. That could be a consideration. But they have stuff like the Selfless Savior. Which makes it a little difficult. In that game they didn't have Savior. We'll see if they bring in Tithe Taker again. That's fine. Maybe we want... See, like, Red Cat Melee's pretty narrow. That's my only problem with it. Because it doesn't hit... Like, it hits Judith. That game, all we saw was Judith that it hits. So this is the create 2 1/1s. I do like this for... Narset. That's interesting. Oh, come on. So I'm kind of stuck here because I want to play for Winota, but I need a blue source. I need particularly an untapped blue source. Just stop the Winota. We drew a bunch of extra cards there. Basri's Lieutenant's kind of annoying there. So I think we do this. I'm still taking 8 this turn. Come on. Yeah, I'm dead either way. Even if they drop a note, I can't shock. Okay, let's tweak this. There's no reason we should be losing to a creature deck. Yadaro's honestly been pretty bad. Try without Yadaro. Bring in the Typhoon. Go up another Shatter. Then... do we want like Scorching Dragonfire because it's flexible? What has flash? This might not be bad just to keep us alive, give us blockers. It's also good in like the flash mirrors. Maybe we try that. do this mix. And then put one card in the side. I think we play Searing Blaze, Soul Sear. Or just Justice Strike. Probably just Justice Strike. No, but that doesn't get rid of Bassary's Lieutenant, and Soul Sear also exiles. Okay, let's try this. There probably is, I would say, look at the mono white or artifacts deck with I forgot its name. The +2/2 to all artifacts and enchantments. We go first. Opponent's not on companion. We need another blue source, but I think we keep. Might cycle this Typhoon just to hit a land drop. See, if opponent just drops a creature, then I'm fine. So if they drop Uro here, I can respond to its trigger by Scorching Dragonfiring it. So this is fine. Not sure what they're up to, but I'm going to throw down a Brazen Borrower this turn, especially since we have two. If they go Uro, I'm going to Dragonfire it, because the Dragonfires generally don't have too much text in this matchup. So how this works is because Uro dies, the exile still takes effect. So they get their card for the turn, but we get to take Uro off the battlefield. In this matchup, having two Absorbs in our hand is really good. They're likely missing land drops as well, that's why they're playing that. I forgot about Mass Manipulation, to be completely honest with you. It could be something we run in the sideboard against like the big mana decks to steal their stuff. Generally, I've found though, like when you're generating that much mana, you can usually just go through your whole deck. I think keeping Tamiyo off's reasonable. It helps him find another arrow. Yeah, it's something we can definitely try out in there. Instead of like Shark, like the third Shark Typhoon. So at this point, They're going to take the counter spell anyways. So might as well counter this. They also don't get the scry effect here. Now we try to close this out quick. So I think in a non-Sultai match, I would play this out hardcast. But they have Casualties of War. So I'm just going to make a 4/4 here on end step. Speeds up the clock quite a bit. So for those who just tuned in, we ended up cutting Yadaro. We tried it out, but felt pretty bad. Opted for a bit more interaction, so we've kind of shifted this to a little bit more control, less mid-range. This is actually good if they draw another Uro. Fine. I'd like a white castle. If we can get that going, it would be good. Or just like literally any of our planeswalkers. Not even being particular at this point. Just something for a reoccurring card advantage. Like I want to get this out of the hand. Teferi be good at setting up our draws. So let's Frantic Inventory, see what we get. I want to keep this because like I don't have a real answer to Anissa right now. So we have one more Typhoon, 2 Narsets, 2 Teferis. Another Absorb's good. Even honestly Bonecrusher just to play it out would be good. The Omens would be nice. Okay, they hit their last land, so they're at 6. Perfect. Sultai generally doesn't play counters main.
Past, present, and future are bound to hone your prowess.
Well, they got a lot of junk off our table. They could Shark Typhoon here, but I could always bounce it with the Brazen Borrower. Even if they resolve Uro at this point, I have double Deafening Clarion. So when they animate their land, I'm going to Scorching Dragonfire it. And then I'm going to bounce the Nissa.
The land shall conquer you.
So I have a choice between bouncing the Nissa They played it well with the Fabled Passage because they can always sack it in response. I think I would rather... Oh, you do non-land. So doing this before they can have an effect. Because I have the Clarions, I wanted to keep Narset alive. This at least slows down their mana ability for next turn. I have this Clarion, so I'm just going to Clarion it.
My mind needs a rest.
Yeah, I think we do this. Because this still gives me enough mana to bounce the Nissa and play out my Brazen Borrower. And then when they play it again the third time, then I flash in this and I have 6 power and I can attack this down. Hopefully in that time we also find something like Conquer's Death, one of our counter spells. Opponent played well by animating the Fabled Passage. See how they want to do this. I'm going to opt to bounce Nissa with the trigger on the stack to limit their mana. Hey Kowalski, if you're on mobile, it'll be, or if you're on the PC, it'll be right here on the right hand side. Otherwise I can link it in the chat. We made a couple changes to it, so I do need to update it. We ended up cutting Yadaro. It was pretty bad. Went up another Clarion. Went up another Shatter, went up to Omen of the Suns. So that was the starting point. I'll update it after this run. Okay, so they're doing Forest, so here... Let's bounce Nissa. Because that way they would have had 2, 4, 5. They could have played something else out. Just be mana efficient here. They may have a removal spell here, but that's fine because then my Clarion works afterwards. I'm going to hold the lands at this point in case we draw Teferi. Go Heartless Act here. I want to use quite a bit of clock. Like Frantic Inventory. We have a bunch of card advantage effects. We've been slowing down this Nissa. I have Clarion to wipe up these 2 lands, which sets them back. The unfortunate thing is with no Teferi, we can't instant speed it. Give me Conquer's Death. Conquer's Death. Conquer's Death's probably the best draw. Just exiling this would be useful. How about no? It's not great. Distracts him for a turn. Nah, I think we need something a little bit more impactful. They got the Gust. So they're playing at least 2 Gusts main. Gonna go down to 9, or taking 9 here potentially. That helps him find Uro.
Test a new hypothesis with you. I have
Deal?
learned much from my ancestors.
Be interesting to see if they animate here. Just put pressure on us. I'm gonna flash this in just to attack down Tamiyo. Okay, they don't want to commit any more lands. They know the contents of our hand.
All stories must end.
Still gonna keep this just in case we draw Teferi. It lets us loot. Honestly, even at this point, Omen of the Sun's not terrible. So, big crisis. Shatter, please.
Behold, nature's true power.
Nice, doesn't do enough. Because like I stomp this, I play this. They still have the damage. So this is a Gust matchup. I don't think Soul Sear, Justice Strike's good. We'll bring in these. Bring in the Crypt. Coming out to fairies. 1 Clarion, the Bonecrushers. I don't mind Scorching Dragonfire here, to be honest. Trim down a Narset. Trim down a Dragonfire. I want to keep 1 Clarion in. I want Jeskai to be good, but I just think as long as Nisa's around, it presents such a problem for our deck. Just the constant stream of attackers. Like we swept a couple times, didn't work. Then they just refill Crisis. At least on Thursday, Historic gets Sphinx's Revelation, so I can go do that in Historic. See what the score is in the Raptor game. Both my teams are winning today. Hopefully the Leafs win tonight. So after this game, probably going to pivot. Originally I was going to do Dimir control, but this ended up being more control than I wanted it to be. So I have a best of one deck I've been working on. It's a Sultai Dredge deck. So I'll probably just play that. Sense of Garbage. Justice Strike goes away, but if we don't draw a blue source, then we're pretty dead here. Like, have a sufficient number of blue sources. Castle's good here, but they are a casualties deck. Although I like Justice Strike, we're a ways away from needing it. Okay. One more blue source. It's actually interesting what they take here. We present quite a few. My guess is the Veto. Dimir, or Sultai always has. Sultai's the new Esper. They always have Thought Erasure on 2 against your control deck. Conceal the information here. Need a blue source. Need a blue source. Because if we get Nisa next turn, we are not in a good spot. Remember that time I said we needed a blue source? Are you kidding me? Holy. So I think we need to just play this out. I can't afford to play this into either casualties or Nisa. If they don't play anything, I can start making tokens. Take the card draw, but I don't want you to have the creature. Awesome. Thanks for the host, Magic. Can we stop drawing like non-blue sources? I just want blue mana. I think I only want to run one mountain. Yeah, one mountain, 2 islands. Likely negate. Yep.
In this land, we are all connected. The land fights for us.
Let's see if we can draw. This will distract them at least. I have this to clean up. I'm gonna dispute. That's fine. Seems kind of loose, to be honest.
Those who cannot perceive beyond meditate.
Because now I can shatter and bounce this. I can make an Uro.
Harness the elements.
Somehow use 10 more minutes of clock than us. This deck's really missing Teferi. Not being able to instant speed when Nissa animates. Just make a big crisis. If we go to game 3, there's a very real chance they just time out. Nice. Opponent should have attacked in first.
I won't forget our time together.
Doing this as bait. I have no choice. I have to do this. If they have a counter, they have a counter. I live to fight one more turn. 2 shatters left. Because if I Clarion there, I would have been able to take it out.
Shall conquer you.
Because even with the Crisis as trample at this point, so that also does us in. I need Shatter. Or just a Strike. That works as well. Scorching Dragonfire does not work. Yeah, they just... As long as Crisis is here, I don't think we could play traditional.